Iran News Now. Iranian, Swedish detainees released in Oman-mediated swap. Saturday saw the release of a former Iranian official in Sweden in exchange for a European Union diplomat and a second Swede. State television footage showed family members and officials welcoming 63-year-old Iranian former prisons officer Hamid Nouri, who is serving a life sentence in Sweden, at Mehrabad Airport around 5:30 p.m., 14 o'clock GMT. 5 hours later, EU diplomat Johan Floderus and Swedish national Saeed Azizi, imprisoned in Iran in November 2023, arrived in Stockholm at 19:20 GMT. Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson told reporters, "They are free and on Swedish soil again," adding that the couple got again with their families. "They have survived suffering on Earth and can now reunite with their families," he remarked. "Considering the circumstances, they're fine." Espionage charges against 33-year-old EU diplomat Floderus in Iran risked his death. Mats Floderus, his father, told Swedish news agency TT that the family are of course tremendously thrilled after his release. After mediation, Iran and Western countries agreed to the mutual release of jailed individuals, according to neutral Oman state media. Official Oman news agency, those released were transferred from Tehran and Stockholm to Muscat today, June 15, 2024, for repatriation. Strained relationships. Nouri was detained at Stockholm Airport in November 2019 and condemned to life in prison in July 2022 for 1988 Iranian jail massacres. He praised Iran's officials and people for his freedom. He called the erstwhile rebel People's Mujahideen of Iran, MEK, whose militants helped convict him in Sweden, traitors who have sold their country. In 1988, the MEK massacred at least 5,000 captives in Iranian jails to avenge their strikes on Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein's army in the last phases of the Iran-Iraq conflict. Sweden's release of Nouri was shameful and unacceptable according to the MEK, an Iranian terrorist group. It warned the exchange will embolden Iran to scale up terrorism, hostage-taking, and blackmail. A Swedish court found Nouri guilty of severe breaches of international humanitarian law and homicide. He claimed leave during the time in question. Iran criticized the sentencing, but Sweden said it tried the case under its universal jurisdiction, which permits it to prosecute cases anywhere. Kristersson said Iran had used Floderus and Azizi as pawns in a cynical negotiation game, with the purpose of obtaining Iranian national Hamid Nouri released from prison in Sweden. He said he had a specific responsibility for the safety of Swedish citizens as Prime Minister. "I recognize that this prisoner swap evokes mixed feelings, not least among Swedes of Iranian heritage," Kristersson told reporters. "This was a difficult government choice. At least 2 additional Swedish citizens are in Iran, including dual national Ahmad Reza Jalali, who is on death sentence for spying. Stockholm tried to free him, but Tehran declined to hear his case, because it does not recognize dual nationality, according to Foreign Minister Tobias Billström. Unfortunately, Iran refuses to accept him as a Swedish citizen, Billström added. Iranian authorities have detained 6 Austrian, British, French, and German citizens. French citizen Louis Arnaud, 36, returned to Paris on Thursday after serving over 20 months in Iran on national security accusations. Another prisoner swap freed Belgian humanitarian worker Olivier van de Castile in May 2023, calling Saturday's release a bittersweet event due to the other foreigners still in Iran. "Our mobilization continues beyond today's returns," he told AFP. "More must return home to loved ones." Activists and some Western governments accuse Iran of kidnapping foreigners to coerce concessions.